Hey everybody, how do you like my backdrop? It is almost Christmas, so I thought it was fitting to start in front of the Christmas tree. I'm actually here in Hudsonville, Michigan. It's terrible weather. It's like 17 degrees Fahrenheit with the wind chills. I've been here actually, my wife and I had a wedding. My mother-in-law got remarried. We lost my father-in-law due to COVID in 2021. And my mother-in-law got remarried to a wonderful gentleman this last Sunday, actually 2 Sundays ago. And then we spent Thanksgiving here with our family. And now I'm actually here spending the day with a friend of mine. His name is Brandon Taets. And he is on staff here as a tech director for Fairhaven Ministries there in Hudsonville, Michigan, like I said. So just thought I'd do a quick behind the scenes and we'll have a quick conversation while I'm here in town. So check it out. I'm here in the foyer. Obviously we got the Christmas tree. It's a good sized Christmas tree. It's gotta be like 14, 15 feet. That thing's super tall, but a lot of light here in the atrium, the foyer. So I'm standing right outside the worship center, which is right through that door. Over here to my right, they have their cafe. And then I'm just gonna take a short walk and show you guys also the gymnasium that's over here. So nice open, very high ceilings here in their atrium. And here, which again, we've got kind of the main entryway to their worship center. You can see they're turning the lights on as we speak. That's their platform. Literally right behind it, they've got this door that opens and closes to split off this space where they have a gymnasium. So that's actually a pretty cool layout. And I remember years and years ago, some friends of ours did a wedding. My wife and I did a couple of songs for that wedding, grand piano up there on the stage. And then they had the reception here in this gymnasium, which is really cool. Grand Rapids is our hometown, so even though we're living in Redding, California, Grand Rapids, Michigan is where we're from. So I just wanted to quick show you some of this, and now I'm going to go and see if I can meet Brandon, and I'll show you behind the scenes in their sound booth and in their worship center. Brandon, what's up, man? What are you guys getting ready for today?
Got rehearsal tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
What does the routine look like for rehearsal for you guys?
Yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. So, I mean, Wednesdays we'll typically get things set up. Make sure all the lyrics and stuff are set up. Looks like we're setting up this weekend we've got an event that's happening over the next couple of days where someone's renting the building. So
nice.
We ended up, the stage was cleared this morning, so we just made sure everything's ready to go for rehearsal for this evening, and then we'll dial in all the lighting and stuff. So we just have a real kind of simple, like one cue per song type thing. So so we'll get all that set up today too as well before we have to strike it after rehearsal. Nice.
Well, the stage is looking great, man. You were telling me a little bit about the LED strips. Do you mind if we walk up there and take a look at how you guys built those?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so I mean, for the LED stuff, we're just using the Amazon special.
Hey, but that's what we're all about. We're all about just being like creative with minimal budgets and
that's right. So,
making things look amazing.
What is this decoder? It's the one, Worship Leader Hangout. I think they used this decoder from Amazon, and then the power supply is from BTF. So BTF, that's the brand of LEDs that we're using. So we're using the RGBW. It's the soft white on these ones is what we're using, which has been really nice.
And these triangle shapes are just on a wood frame, correct?
Yep.
Those are a wood frame, and then over here, you actually said you used a PVC.
Yep.
Here's one that strip is off. We'll be able to see a little better.
Yeah, we can kick on any house lights too if you want.
It's great.
And then with these, we did a quick connect on here that which made it nice. So we soldered this quick connect. I think they're like, you could use these on boats and stuff. You know, they're waterproof, but
Nice.
just since we do rent the building, there's times where where people don't want certain pieces that we have on the stage, so we need to make sure that everything's very modular and able to remove off stage easily. So we actually added an extra bar up there. It's that black like gas pipe. So behind our lighting bar, we added a second one that then we created these hooks that these pieces can come off pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, nice.
And then go back on
Yep.
fairly quickly as well.
That's awesome.
So
Dude, that's great. I noticed that you guys, you've got a shield. You're not using a full drum cage.
Yep.
What's your philosophy on stage volume and all that?
yeah, I mean, so obviously this room is pretty large. It's not acoustically treated the greatest, so this was kind of an experiment. When I came in, we still had the lid on. At one point they used to have the walls on back, but before I came they removed those. The lid was still on because we used to have a lot of bleed from cymbals, but we have since switched to the Heartbeat custom dry cymbals.
Oh, nice.
Which I had experience with, and we were able to remove the lid, and it hasn't. I mean, you hear a little bit of cymbal bleed, in maybe the front row, being on this side of the stage, but it's really not that bad once we got the sound system, going at a decent volume. And so this recently was kind of more an experiment of, hey, let's try and remove the lid. And actually, they're not on currently. I haven't kicked them on yet, but we were able to get a lot more lighting up front. So mainly we're using the front shield as, more just to help the bleed with the mics with our vocalists. So
Nice.
I haven't switched to using I forget what brand those are, but it seems like everyone's using those like plexiglass little.
Oh yeah, the shy
circles.
baffles.
Yeah, the shy baffles. That's right.
Yep.
So I haven't gone to that extent yet, but maybe eventually. This is what the church had, and so that's what we're using.
I also like your, I guess it's somewhat cable management, hiding things, like the way you have your guitar stations set up.
Yeah.
Did you guys just build these?
Yeah, these someone from the church had built these, so they were already here before I came, which makes it really simple and easy to.
It's kind of nice. They've got obviously the in-ear monitors, IMs, and then this is a tuner that seems like it's just always here. They've got the power strip, and it's all hidden behind. I mean, this is probably about a 6-inch. It's probably about a 6-inch piece of wood, but and they've got it all taped off for where it actually goes. But, from the congregation's perspective, you don't see any mess, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's great, man. What is the capacity in this building?
So we can fit, I think if it's filled to capacity, we could fit, I think it's 1,500,
Nice.
maybe 1,600 after we add extra chairs
Yeah.
in the back. But
How about, do you guys use the grand piano pretty often?
probably about once or twice a month.
Okay.
Yep. So most of the time we're using the Nord, but we have some weeks where we have one of our vocalists who plays piano. So
Yep.
so this weekend she's on, and so she'll be kind of doing the main piano lines, as our secondary keyboardist will do more of like pads.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple here. We don't we don't really have like the overly produced culture, so
Yep.
it's, you know, right now it's kind of like one pad tone and then the grand pianos.
Just set the tone. That's the glue of the whole set.
Yeah.
Just that one nice pad tone.
Yeah.
It's great, man. I mean, the stage looks really clean. Everything's really well kept, really well put together. Obviously, we're coming into Christmas, and you know, we saw the Christmas tree out there, 12 or 14-foot Christmas tree.
Yeah.
What do you say we go sneak into the sound booth?
Well, before we do that, looks like I still need to plug it in, but something that we did add, because we do so many events, especially right now with it being the holiday season, I think we've got, I don't know, probably 15 different events that are happening with people that are renting the building. So these drums have always been on like a roller stage, but we always had to individually, you know, we had like a snake that was running out of this riser, but something that we did add recently was this Allen and Heath. I forget what the model is, but it's an expander to our system. Let's see, there it is. It is, okay, DX164W. So it's an expander.
That's actually built right into the riser.
Yeah, so we just added that to the riser, and what's nice is now we can plug in the entire drum set with just one power cable and one Ethernet cable. I do have a second that's currently running for the Mies, but yeah, that made it way simpler to set up, you know, to plug in the drums and unplug. So.
Dude, that's incredible. That's amazing. So you guys can just slide this in and out as needed real easily.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'll plug in power. We've got the cable for the DX. And then cable for our Me.
That's cool.
Then eventually we'll expand it. I want to add Dante here, so then we can split out our tracks a little bit more. But
Bro, that's awesome.
you know, the infrastructure of this building, I think the building is 25 years old, so there isn't currently network in any of our stage pockets. So that's, you know, future
integration
update that we want to do. You know, but there happened to be 2 network ports on the back that was
Nice.
connected to our internet service.
Yep.
But I was able to go under the stage, and thankfully it's all open under there, and was able to kind of rerun a new cable and
Love that.
to the digital snake in the back. And yeah, so this was great. So eventually we'll add some more network, and we'll get Dante on here, and probably have like a network switch in back where we can you know, just plug and play what we want each port to be on stage.
Yep.
That'll make my life, yeah, much easier.
Dreams and goals.
Yeah, that's it.
So, Brandon and I have known each other for probably almost 2 decades. It might have been
Just about,
more, almost
yeah.
20 years.
We've been in Michigan 16 years. Yeah.
And we were probably at least in our early 20s, late teens when we met.
Yeah,
I mean,
20, yeah.
we've done worship, all sorts of stuff together, recorded like songs and albums and
Yeah.
tours and stuff. You know, it's just a lot of really great history there. You know, and we've obviously both been in various aspects of ministry and, you know, worship or tech or even just pastoral stuff. So that's something I'm thinking about actually bringing, like, from a pastoral standpoint, not just like, hey, here's the job, here's the tech, let's maintain this and, you know, have a Sunday service, but like, what are you focused on, like, from a people perspective in the teams?
Yeah, I think, you know, the biggest thing, like, just been, you know, wanting, you know, I'm newer here at this church, so I think the biggest thing is that I wanted people to know that I actually care about them as a person, and that that they feel cared for too.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think any place of ministry that I've been at, you know, I never want to, you know, see people as just like a resource that, you know, I gain
Yep.
and they don't gain anything from it. And so, just trying to watch how often are they serving, and then too, when they are serving, like, to make sure I'm spending time with them to check in to see how is their family, how are things going in their life, so even trying to see even part of my budget, like taking them out to lunches and stuff, to just have those check-ins, and actually something that we've been doing as a team to help with that relational side of things is after rehearsals, we've just started to have an open invitation to go out somewhere afterwards.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, like, hey, let's go grab some food, and just what's actually been really nice is oftentimes, because we want to honor everyone's time, so on a Sunday morning you're kind of already, let's get down to business, and same thing for rehearsal. Usually it's, hey, let's do sound check and so rehearsal can get going quickly. Oftentimes you don't get as much of that, like, time to connect fully. It's very surface. Maybe you get a quick conversation, but this has been an opportunity for us to just get to know one another deeper. Even sometimes it's not even a deep insight into someone's life, but just a nuance of something that they're into. Like one of the guys on our team, is really into cars, or he has like a little Miata or something. And actually one of our bass players has ripped apart a Miata and put a truck engine in it, and so it was like those little things of like, we just connected at a different level than what we've been able to on a Sunday. So
outside of the four walls.
Yeah, outside of, hey, we've got a job to do, and obviously, we want excellence is important, and we want things to run smoothly and as best as we can, but so sometimes that gets in the way of being able to connect at a deeper level, or or more as like a friend, or so
the difference between just being an operator of the church or actually being a part of the church, like being the church. The relationship aspect of that. And another thing I'm thinking about is like, is there anything that you've noticed, like how do you develop an aspect of giving, maybe particular volunteers, a sense of ownership, whether it's, in regards to, just standard services or vision or the mission of what you guys are doing, or even future stuff that you have in mind? Like, how do you help people feel like they're able to actually invest, value it from an ownership perspective?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I think for me, I've kind of tried, I might have some experience and years under my belt, but also too, like, I don't consider myself as someone who knows it all. And also, like, I may have an idea in my mind of how something should be accomplished, but I know it might not even be the best idea too. So I feel like even here, actually, just been really trying to ask for people's insight, or what's, hey, I've got this thought, like, but do you see it in another way, or do you have any ideas with this? Or sometimes even just deferring to, like, before I even share my idea or thought, like, hey, what do you think? What do you think the option would be? And then, actually with some of the stuff that's on stage and some of the lighting has, like, hey, I saw this YouTube video, or I have this idea, like, what do you think about it? And actually we have a retired electrician, and so here, who's like a super volunteer and loves coming in and serving the church in especially these creative ways. And he's challenged me on some of my thinking, and it's been beautiful to kind of, like, where it feels like it's met in the middle of, like, some of these things are his ideas working with what I had in mind, and where things turned out better because we were both involved in it. And so maybe that's one way. I think talking about, like, ownership too, of, like, I love training people, so I want them to feel like especially as something as like running Pro Presenter or like a lighting console or something, like oftentimes in churches, it's usually like the tech team or tech director has everything set up, and then what happens is the team shows up, and especially with like a Pro Presenter, is like they're just a button pusher.
Yep.
So then what happens when there's an
issue comes up and they don't know how to address
it. And so I'm still working on that here since I'm still fairly new, but to be able to use those moments as a training opportunity of like, hey, here's how you do it. Actually, why don't you use the keyboard and I'll walk you through it? Because I know for me, I'm like a hands-on learner. I'm not, and so to actually get them to do it rather than like, hey, move out of the way, let me do it for you. It's like, hey, why don't you do it? I'm going to walk you through it. Or even maybe after a rehearsal, like, hey, let's go through this. Like, let's take some time after rehearsal or a Sunday morning is done. Let me walk you through this, so that way you can learn these things deeper. Also, like, we just subscribed to the MXU platform, and they've added different resources for Pro Presenter and stuff. So to even get those things out of like, hey, you can do some learning on your own, or you could also download the program for and for free and have the demo and be able to learn this on your own. So those are some different things that I've been trying to integrate with this team.
That's amazing. And being able to provide those resources to teams like MXU and Production Online, like there's so many of these resources that exist, and if we can actually draw from those, not just to gain that knowledge for ourselves, but empower and equip our teams to actually have that experience and get the hands-on training they need. Because I think that's a lot of times, what the fear is, even from a leadership perspective, if we equip volunteers, if they don't really have the experience or the know-how, like what happens if you're not in the building and something goes wrong?
Right, yeah.
As opposed to being able to show to the leadership team or whoever it is, like, no, these teams are well equipped because we're taking the time to help them gain the knowledge and the resources, and like, he actually knows how to get into whatever it is in the soundboard or the lighting console or whatever to address an issue if something comes up, rather than being a button pusher.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it just makes you feel more a valuable part to the team, more than I just come and press the next button or click on the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, it looks like you guys are doing great things here. You've been here for about
about 6 months. Yeah,
6 or so months, and yeah, man. What are you guys focused on now? If there was one thing that you'd say, we'd like to grow in this area or address some sort of, either it's a technical thing that you want to address. Is there anything that comes to mind?
I mean, right now, it's one of the biggest focus has just been building consistency with audio. That's a very cumbersome process, I guess. And then too, everyone has learned things differently, or they hear things differently. So to be able to at least create like, hey, here's kind of our at least starting point.
Kind of sandbox, if you will.
Yeah. But then also, so I've been working with like our leadership team to say, hey, like what is our sandbox? What's what maybe not even necessarily dB. Yeah, we've got the tools to measure it and whatnot, but hey, what is the feel we want to have in the room, and then when it relays to a good sounding mix, like I've kind of brought some thoughts to that, and so far the leadership team has liked that, liked that approach to audio. So then now to then retrain everyone to start to demonstrate it first, and then to allow them to hear it and say, all right, now here's what we're working towards. So that's kind of been one of the biggest things that we've been working on, both here in the room and then with live stream.
So effectively creating a standard baseline, but then leaving a little bit of margin for some preferential adjustment.
Yeah. Yep.
That's great. That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate just being able to sit and chat about what you've been up to, and just this the space is great. Looks amazing. Sounds like you got some great things going on with the team as well. And just thought it'd be cool because, I happened in. I mentioned I'm here in town, just for family and holiday stuff. I thought, hey, why miss this opportunity? Miss this moment. It's always fun to see behind the scenes and learn from others. So,
Yeah.
hope you guys enjoyed this, and more to come.